ตอนนี้ประเทศฝรั่งเศสมีประธานาธิบดีคนใหม่แล้วนะคะอายุน้อยที่สุดด้วยในประวัติศาสตร์ค่ะก็คือเอมานูเอล มาครงนะคะเข้ารับตำแหน่งไปเป็นที่เรียบร้อยแล้วค่ะฝรั่งเศสในยุคนี้นะคะจะเป็นอย่างไรเราจะมาพูดคุยกันกับเอกอัครราชทูตฝรั่งเศสประจำประเทศไทยท่านทูตจิล กาคาชงค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
So now you have the new president.
Yes, a brand new president, very young, 39 years old, and I think it's one of the youngest French presidents
Right.
ever. And we are facing, I mean, he won a clear victory with 66% of the voters, but still he has to face a lot of challenges.
All right. And so how do you see France under Macron presidency?
First, he will have really, I mean, to address many issues. The first step will be to appoint a government, which is going to happen very, very soon now. He will have to choose a prime minister and a cabinet. But the second issue, which is going to be crucial, will be the legislative elections, which are going to take place on the 11th and 18th of June next. Because, in fact, this election has been very, very unusual, according to French standards. France has been dominated for more than 1 century by two main parties, a left-wing party and a right-wing party, whatever you call them, because they had many different names, those different parties. But basically, those were the two main parties. And our system, constitution, is based on this two-party system. But in the case of Mr. Macron, he doesn't belong to any of those parties.
Very brand new party.
A very brand new party. It's even not a party, it's a movement which was created 1 year ago. And so, for the first time in our recent history, a president has been elected, but without the support of any party as such, just a movement he created himself a short while ago. And so, the issue for him will be to have a majority in parliament. So this is why those parliamentary elections are very, very important. And our system is based on the issue that both the presidents and the parliament, that we call Assemblée Nationale, National Assembly, are directly elected by the people. They can claim a real popular direct mandate. And this is the kind of check and balance that we have experienced. The president is controlled by the parliament, and the president is controlling the parliament. And none of them can dismiss the other. But usually it works when the president and the parliament are from the same party. And this is why we have both elections at the same time.
Right.
Because we usually, it happened that the president was elected in May and the parliament in June next, and of course the majority was the same. But in this case, it will not happen that way. So he will have, and this will be his second main challenge, to build a coalition, a majority, after the parliamentarian elections, after the 18th of June. And that will be a challenge, and for us, a very, very unusual situation. And the challenges we will have to face next to this will be to prepare some laws and to pass them in Parliament. So his coalition has to be strong in order to vote those laws. And there is another issue he's going to have to address. It's that a large majority of French people wanted new faces. This is clear when you see the outcome, the result of those elections. And he is a new face, but his opponent got about 35% of the votes. So I think he will have to address the reason why his opponent got such a score. And so, first of all, he will have, to reconcile all the French people and to convince them to work together, and also to address the reason of this success of populism in France.
So that's very challenging for him. And what about the challenges in implementing some policies that he mentioned during the campaign, such as about European Union?
Yes, it will be a challenge, of course. He is quite in favor of European Union, so there is no discussion about this. But the issue is that he thinks that some reforms of European Union are necessary. So he will try to convince our member states friends of this necessity, and he will have to convince them to agree on common ground about those reforms. And but this I think is quite possible. The issue is not to leave European Union, and this is for sure not his position. So France is not going to leave European Union. We are going to stay in with all our friends, member states. But the issue is that, you know, this kind of organization needs from time to time to be revamped, to reform itself to some extent. So this will be the challenge for European Union. But I think he's a young man with a lot of bright ideas, and I'm very confident we have a lot of great friends in European Union, and so we shall convince them, and together we are going, I think, to launch those reforms and to have some success. I'm sure about that.
And under Macron presidency, what could be advantages for Thailand?
You know, he will have an open policy. What I mean that is for free trade. And I think for Thailand, that's going to be very important. What I mean is that for the trade between Thailand and France, he will be a man of free trade. And I think that's really great. And his policy will be a very moderate foreign policy. So I think Asia for France, but for European countries, is a priority. It's a very dynamic region, and we have to be more present in Asia. So I think this is really a common view for European countries. Of course, France is sharing absolutely this view. So I'm pretty sure that Mr. Macron is going to follow a policy towards Asia and towards Thailand, which will be a very positive one.
All right, thank you so much, Ambassador, for your
You're
interview.
welcome.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
ยินดีครับ
ค่ะ ก็จะเห็นแล้วนะคะว่าประธานาธิบดีคนใหม่ของฝรั่งเศสนะคะ ดูแล้วจะมีนโยบายที่ค่อนข้างจะเปิดกว้างค่ะ แล้วก็นโยบายต่างประเทศก็น่าจะกลางๆนะคะ ไม่ได้มีอะไรสุดโต่งค่ะ ก็เป็นสิ่งที่ไม่น่าจะเป็นห่วงกันค่ะ ทั้งหมดนี้นะคะก็คือ Meet the Diplomat ในวันนี้ค่ะ